Welcome to Spurs Focus, your go-to spot for daily Tottenham news, transfers, and match updates. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now. Let's dive into today's top story. 2 new Tottenham filings at Company's House have fans talking. One confirms Daniel Levy's official exit as chairman, but the other, involving a deal with Macquarie Bank, hints at a major cash injection and raises big questions about Spurs' finances. Tottenham have entered 2 new filings on Company's House in recent days, with one getting some supporters talking. Company's House is a government agency that maintains the register of all different types of companies within the United Kingdom, both private and public. Tottenham Hotspur have a number of different companies registered on there in relation to various parts of the organisation, including ones for the club, the stadium, the charitable foundation, and even the hotel, among others, with other older dissolved companies listed. This week brought 2 new filings to the main Tottenham Hotspur Football and Athletic Company, limited on Company's House. The most recent one was an expected one, with the news that a Mr. Daniel Philip Levy was the subject of a termination of director appointment file on September 4th. That was the day that it was announced that the 63-year-old had left his post as the executive chairman of Spurs after more than 24 years at the helm. However, there was another filing a few days earlier that had got people talking. It was created on August 29th, but was not published until September 1st, and was the registration of a charge involving the London branch of Macquarie Bank Limited. That immediately prompted suggestions that there had been a big new cash injection into the club. There has certainly been a cash injection, but technically it's money they already had coming, as Football.London understands that the filing involves, in technical terms, industry standard receivables factoring. In layman's terms, it's the common practice of selling outstanding invoices to a third party and to get the money up front for something that a club expects to get over a period of time. So, for instance, in many cases, football clubs have used banks like Macquarie to get their expected television revenue in advance. In this case with Spurs, while the amount is not stated, the Company's House document refers to receivables being all of the central funds due, or owing to, or which may be due or owing to, or purchased or otherwise acquired, or received by the borrower from the Premier League for the period from, and including December 2025 up to, and including May 2026, including, for the avoidance of doubt, the amounts from the merit payments funds as defined in the Premier League rules payable around May 2026, in each case together with all ancillary and security rights thereto. The document is signed at its end by Tottenham's Chief Executive Officer Vinay Venkatesham, as well as Operations and Finance Director Matthew Collicott. Australian-based Macquarie are one of a number of global investment companies that Premier League and Championship clubs have used over the years to get money from things like future TV earnings up front. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire told The Guardian back in 2020, when this had become common practice. Every time a club renew, effectively they are extending the length of the overdraft, and it means that Macquarie are entitled to the money from the next tranche of TV money from the Premier League. There's an awful lot of clubs doing this, and it makes a lot of sense. The broadcasting payments are made 3 or 4 times a year, but you've got all of the overheads going out in between, including the wage bill. I understand that a lot of banks are providing similar services, but because they are not formally registering a charge, we don't see the documentation because nothing is going through Company's House. It's a risk in the same way that if you take out a mortgage and it helps from a cash flow point of view. A bombshell at Tottenham. Daniel Levy is out after more than 2 decades as chairman. Spurs are calling it the start of a new era, but with takeover whispers and investor talks circling, fans are left asking, what comes next for the club? Tottenham's significant summer of change looks to have culminated with Daniel Levy departing as chairman. His exit was confirmed in a bombshell statement on Thursday evening, with major uncertainty surrounding what happens next. In short, it looks as though it will be business as usual for the time being, but understandably much of the focus has been on matters upstairs, with the September international break ongoing. The Lilywhites have gone into that 2-week pause following a disappointing defeat to Bournemouth, but with new marquee signing Xavi Simons unveiled ahead of the game. Spurs' ambitions have been clear this summer, with a view to making the club more competitive, an important aim. After winning the Europa League last season, This could just be the start, with Football.London taking a look at the latest takeover and investment updates. In the final section of their announcement regarding Levy's exit, Spurs made it clear the decision was all part of the club's ambition to ensure that it is set up to deliver long-term sporting success. Whether or not that will transpire remains to be seen, but the Telegraph have noted that Joe Lewis's children, Charlie and Vivian, see this as a start of a new era at the club. Levy has been criticised for how he has operated in transfer windows, but it is fair to say that when reflecting on his exit, he has transformed Tottenham in a multi-billion-pound entity, even if that was what he saw before a football club. Spurs have sought outside investment into the club over the last few years, with Levy first making that clear publicly a few years ago. To capitalise on our long-term potential, to continue to invest in the teams and undertake future capital projects, the club requires a significant increase in its equity base. Levy was quoted saying, "The board and its advisors, Rothschild and Company, are in discussions with prospective investors." However, Levy also claimed that no deals would be done without club personnel's approval, suggesting this won't be a rushed process. Any recommended investment proposal would require the support of the club's shareholders, he clarified. Former Newcastle United shareholder Amanda Staveley has been linked as a potential investor, but as things stand, it does not appear as though external investment has yet arrived. A cash injection believed to be from ENIC, Tottenham's majority owners, could well have happened in recent months, as was claimed by Football.London, with Spurs transfer market activity suggesting as such. Big fees were prepared to be committed to Eberechi Eze, Nico Paz, Savinho and Morgan Gibbs-White, but Tottenham failed to sign any of those names. Instead, over £100 million was spent on Mohamed Kudus and Xavi Simons. Even after that, with a financial boost provided, there have been suggestions that a full sale from the Lewis family is a possibility. However, Football.London understands they currently have no plans to sell the club, and that the changes to the hierarchy were made to create a club better prepared for sporting success moving forward. FIFA is changing the game literally. From next season, international breaks will be reshaped to ease the pressure on domestic football. But for Tottenham fans, the real headline is a possible fairy tale return, Harry Kane, back in North London. FIFA has confirmed that they shall be changing the international calendar next season to limit disruption on the domestic schedule. Currently, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and the remainder of the Premier League and EFL Championship see their season paused less than a month into the campaign. This year, it is to allow for FIFA World Cup qualifiers to take place. However, this international window has also been used for UEFA Nations League and European Championship qualifiers previously. With many of these international matches seen as inconsequential to supporters, there is often disappointment to see the Premier League campaign paused just 3 games in. From next season, it is all changed with the September international window being modified. Instead of breaking at the beginning of September and then again just a month later in October, FIFA has decided to combine the 2 windows. A longer, 16-day international window will run from September 21st to October 6th next year, to allow for as many as 4 international matches to be played. This will then be followed by the usual November and March windows that shall be 9 days long. The hope is that there will be less disruption for teams in the top flights around the world, while also allowing countries to play the same amount of international fixtures. For now, the London Premier League clubs will have to make do with the current arrangements, but fans will not have to wait long to see their teams back in action. The Gunners return on Saturday, September 13th. In the early kickoff against Nottingham Forest, Spurs will travel to face fierce rivals, West Ham United, in the tea-time kickoff, before Chelsea feature in a rare Saturday night fixture when they visit Brentford at 8 p.m. Tottenham Hotspur have been handed a positive update should they wish to pursue a transfer for Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane in the near future. Kane came through the ranks at Spurs and became a club legend, having become the North London side's all-time leading goalscorer. However, after accomplishing this achievement, the centre-forward and England captain chose to move on to pastures new in a bid to win silverware. After having a move to the Premier League blocked by former chairman Daniel Levy, Kane managed to make the switch to Bayern, where, on the second attempt, he managed to win the Bundesliga. The striker has been a revelation in Bavaria, with 91 goals in 100 appearances for the club. After having a move to the Premier League blocked by former chairman Daniel Levy, Kane managed to make the switch to Bayern, where, on the second attempt, he managed to win the Bundesliga. The striker has been a revelation in Bavaria with 91 goals in 100 appearances for the club. He has started this season well too, scoring 6 goals already in all competitions. But there is a lingering sense that Bayern may look to sell Kane back to a Premier League club next summer, considering that his contract expires in 2027. Such a move would allow Kane the opportunity to break Alan Shearer's all-time Premier League goalscorer record and give him the chance to potentially play for Spurs once more. Speaking recently to TalkSport, German football expert Raphael Honigstein suggested that it was no secret at Bayern that Kane would look to end his career back in England. He added that it currently seemed unlikely that the 32-year-old would stay beyond his 2027 deal, and that the club are already looking towards the future. Vincent Kompany signed Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson in the summer transfer window. Honigstein was keen to point out that currently there were no plans for Jackson to replace Kane permanently, and that he joined as an understudy to the Englishman. But whether he is seen as a future plan once the striker leaves remains to be seen. All of this will be music to the ears of Spurs fans who would love nothing more than to see their club legend return at an age where he could still score consistently. Levy claimed shortly after Kane left that Tottenham had some sort of buyback clause in the deal. It is believed that Tottenham would have the opportunity to match a bid from any other club that attempts to sign Kane in the future.